Here's a great way to start a show. Intelligence helps, but success becomes a habit. Agree? Bad part is being dumb and unsuccessful also becomes a habit. Some people in operations just can't break the cycle of being dumb and incompetent. Just like there are those people and operations that don't break the cycle of being smart and successful, the habit of being dumb and incompetent is a real problem too, and everybody can identify a person or operation. You may have worked with them, you may have worked for them, but you know they're always going to be dumb and incompetent. Really becomes a habit. As you watch the Kansas City Chiefs last night, this is all I can think about. You watch the Kansas City Chiefs last night. They chase a third Super Bowl. They're 5-0. They do everything right. They find new ways to win. They find new ways to get better. They come up with, they're just smart and successful, not dumb and incompetent. They're 5-0. You see how many different ways they find to make it work. They lose a player there, lose a player here, get some players hurt. They just keep operating at a high level. They're just in this habit, incredibly good habit of being talented, smart, and successful. Dumb and incompetent seems to stay dumb and incompetent, doesn't it? Meet the two most incompetent organizations living out their stupidity and their incompetence right there in front of us in very similar ways. I give you the Cleveland Browns. They keep doing dumb things and they keep failing. They paid their quarterback $230 million only to have him become one of the worst starters in the league because they're dumb and incompetent. Just who they are. Also, I'd like you to meet the New York Jets. They're dumb and incompetent. And they're continually dumb and incompetent. And it shows itself. The highlight of the Chiefs versus the Jets, the Browns, there's dumb and incompetent, then there's the other side. So dumb and incompetent really shows itself today. They turned the Jets, the New York Jets, have turned their entire franchise over to the unreliable conspiracy nut and diva who just had their head coach fired. His name is Aaron Rodgers. I don't know that we're really going to debate whether the coach should be fired or not because I don't know that anyone really cares. That's not the story, of course. I didn't see this one coming, but if you had Robert Saleh, the head coach of the New York Jets, in your office pool as the first NFL coach to be fired, you're the winner today. You can collect. So you can add the New York Jets now to the Bill Belichick sweepstakes. Bill Belichick and his loving 24-year-old fiance, girlfriend, whatever she is right now. You can add the Jets very much to the sweepstakes. You can argue, and it's an interesting way to look at the rest of the season, is it a mad dash to get to the troll that is Bill Belichick? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. The Jets are now looking for a new head coach because they're 2-3. I think we probably could correct that statement, though, and I think you would agree with this. They'll pick whatever head coach Aaron Rodgers would like them to pick because he's been calling all the shots in New York. You know, the guy, that guy who had 3 interceptions this past weekend, the quarterback who lost to Denver the week before and scoring 9 points, said it was about the rain or something. The guy that played 4 downs a year ago, he's running the New York Jets, and he's been running the New York Jets for quite some time. And take a look at the Jets and how that's working out for them. Yeah. You know what the laughing sound you hear? I think I said this over a year ago. The laughing sound you hear is the Green Bay Packers. See, the Packers aren't dumb and incompetent. They don't do routinely dumb and incompetent things. In fact, they do just the opposite. And one of the smarter things they did, because you hear the laughing sound, is they knew that unreliable diva needed to get out of the building. And they found somebody dumb and incompetent enough to pay him $150 million and turn the entire franchise over to him. And look how it's working out. So they're cracking up. They wouldn't do so publicly because they just sort of stay in their lane and go to work. But They're laughing because they shoved a future Hall of Famer out the door because he's a whiny, unreliable, untrustworthy, nutty, underperforming diva who's going to talk about aliens and Fauci next. So they got out of it. They knew they had to get out of it because they're not dumb and incompetent. And they found the dumb, incompetent Jets doing what the Jets always do, like the Browns, and they just do stupid stuff. Here's the story in case you don't know. The New York Jets have fired Coach Robert Saleh after starting the season 2-3. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich will be the interim coach. That is until Aaron Rodgers decides who he would like to be his coach. Saleh was hired by the Jets in 2021. He had a 20-36 record as the team's head coach. The team is owned by Woody Johnson. That's of Johnson & Johnson family. He's owned the team for 25 years. Have you noticed a trend with management, bad management, stupid management, incompetent management? Look what bad management always seems to do. They suck. He's owned them 25 years. He has not fired a head coach in the middle of the season before. The Jets were 7-10 a year ago. Wonder why that was. Why were they 7-10 a year ago? What didn't work out for them? Saleh becomes the third NFL coach to be fired after losing a game in London. Okay. The Jets, by the way, have started 6 different quarterbacks in Saleh's 4 seasons. They include, and look at the number of Joe Montanas on this list. They include Zach Wilson, 33 games. Somebody named Mike White, 7 games. Aaron Rodgers, all of 6 games. How's that working out for them? Is it a pretty good deal? Panning out okay? Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, 6 games. Joe Flacco, 5 games. Trevor Siemian, 3 games. And somebody named Tim Boyle played 2 games for the New York Jets. There you go. Question. Did Aaron Rodgers, the current quarterback and coach, he's like player coach, management, all that stuff, did he get his head coach fired? Duh. Do you think Robert Saleh would have been fired if Aaron Rodgers said, look, Woody, goofy Woody, don't fire him? You think Robert Saleh would be gone if Aaron Rodgers didn't want him gone? Everybody's going to point to the almost hug they had a couple of weeks ago when Aaron Rodgers shoved him away. I think that's pretty obvious that was a sign of things to come. It's all the head coach's fault. That's why they scored 9 points last week and the quarterback threw 3 interceptions this past weekend. That was the head coach's fault. So Aaron Rodgers, just so you don't know the history of this, he was pursued by the Jets when he was telling everyone, remember, he was too smart to play football. He was going to do Jeopardy. He was doing ayahuasca. He was going to be Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s running mate. He had to go to a dark room to find himself. He didn't need football anymore. And Fauci sucks. And he's just, big pharma's running the NFL, all that stuff. So he didn't know if he wanted to play anymore. So the Jets pursued him. Their owner pursued him pretty consistently. And the Packers conveniently said, ooh, okay, stupid person, take him. Sure. Knock yourselves out. Good luck to you all. It's going to work out really well for you. You go right ahead. And the owner of the Jets, he makes Jerry Jones look like a football genius. You know that? I want that to sink in. Woody Johnson, who's a moron. I told you 2 years ago he's a moron. Bad management is bad management. He makes Jerry Jones look like an absolute football genius. How's that? So Woody Johnson is the one who pursued Aaron Rodgers. And then he said, well, Aaron Rodgers gets to dictate the terms. So Aaron Rodgers shows up to work when he does. Sometimes he doesn't go to work. Remember, he decided the first week of camp he had to go somewhere like Egypt or somewhere to find himself again. But he demanded certain assistant coaches. He demanded certain players. They gave him everything that he wanted. And he played 4 downs last year, and the Jets are now 2-3. So is it possible to think about any coaching move in the NFL and not think about Bill Belichick? I don't think so. I think it's the elephant in the room. And that's all right. It should be. It's pretty interesting. So the jobs that are going to be open now as we start, do you have your Bill Belichick dartboard out with Belichick and the loving girlfriend in her thong? This is the dartboard sponsored by Neiman Marcus, if you remember correctly. So if you take out your Bill Belichick dartboard, that dartboard is just getting more spots on it, more pictures of the loving couple on it. because now I think you very much have the New York Jets on the dartboard for the Bill Belichick darts. Then quite possibly / probably you're going to have the New York Giants on there. I think sooner or later, because the head coach of the Eagles is a fool, I think you're going to see the Eagles on that list. I think you're going to see eventually Jacksonville and unless things change dramatically, on that list. Now, these are places I'm saying are in the Bill Belichick sweepstakes. And we're going to know in about 6 weeks, it's entirely possible your Dallas Cowboys head coaching job is on the Bill Belichick sweepstakes. So all those are in play, I think, very much in play. Are the Giants getting a head start? Are the Jets getting a head start at everyone else? Maybe. I don't think Belichick would take the job right now. I can only hope, like everyone else, that Bill Belichick takes. There's 2 jobs that are good for my business for Bill Belichick. Okay, the Cowboys job, because the owner's a nut, and that'll be fun to watch. And then the Jets job for Bill Belichick would be cool because the quarterback is a lunatic, and that would be fun to watch. There, it's good for the talk show business. So I think he's very much in play. I don't think he'll take a job yet because I think he can just sit back and sort of count some money, spray tan with the loving girlfriend and do all that stuff. But I think he's the elephant in the room. How does this end, everyone? How do you think this ends? I trust that dumb and incompetent will stay dumb and incompetent. I trust that it'll end just like the Browns end. That's what I think happens. I don't think it turns. Nah. I don't think you can trust that quarterback as far as you can throw him. Because I think just bad stuff keeps happening around him, and the Packers knew it. But how do you think it ends? Does it end well with an interim coach and the Jets make the playoffs? Anybody want to take that one? Anyone want to make that bet right now that they turn the corner and make the playoffs in a terrible division? Or what do you think? Does it end in an absolute flame out? And as usual, the Jets end up paying Aaron Rodgers $100 million and he walks away and says, I never wanted this anyway. Which way do you think this ends?